Now we're going to talk about something controversial with Marvel. This is the death of Wolverine. We have actually not been covering this on our show because we think it's ridiculous. But that being said, what is your opinion overall about this stunt, we'll call it?
I mean, it's typical. I mean, typical Marvel DC stunt where it's done to create sales. I mean, it has created a lot of interest. I can't deny it.
I'm sure the story is decent, which I haven't read it because I boycott it. But are there people coming in the door that are actually convinced Wolverine is going to actually stay dead?
I don't know if they're convinced, but
Okay.
they're asking me if he's really going to die.
Sure.
They're not 100% sure.
Yeah, and what's your answer?
No.
Let's very quickly recap here. In the last few decades, we've seen the death of Superman, Batman, The Flash, Supergirl, Johnny Storm, Cyclops. In fact, I don't think you can name a superhero that hasn't at some point died and come back to life. Is that right? Green Lanterns was dead. You know, Hawkman was dead.
Gwen Stacy.
Aquaman was dead. Gwen Stacy was dead, came back, then died again.
Yep.
Jean Grey, that's another story. We're going to talk
Bucky.
about her. Bucky, yeah. There's really no superhero characters or supporting characters that have not come back to life at some point other than Uncle Ben. Let's give them credit.
Yeah.
One. Okay.
They had to have one.
Exactly. Now, I guess my question is, I think this is, to be honest, a joke. You know it's a stunt.
Yep.
Why does Marvel keep doing it?
Because it keeps making money. As simple as that. I mean, Marvel's a business, and DC's they're all businesses, and whatever sells, if it continues to sell, people buy it. Marvel and DC are going to print it, right?
Now, what about integrity? Do you think Marvel has any integrity?
I don't think there's any room for integrity in business. Sometimes, well, there is, but I don't know when it comes to big business like Marvel and DC.
You know what? There's an argument to be made for that, but I'll give a counter argument. There is room for integrity because of repeat business. Because people like, even if it's me, even if it's you, if you were just a consumer, you're not going to buy this because you know he's not going to stay dead. I'm assuming you wouldn't buy this if you weren't a retailer, right?
No.
Exactly.
No.
So
to defend it a little bit, I think if you can go into it with your eyes open and know that he's not going to stay dead and just enjoy it on that level, it's really not a bad read.
Sure.
It's a decent book. But just, I mean, if you think he's going to be dead forever, I mean.
It's ridiculous. But you know what? Okay, I'll equate it to a TV show. If I'm watching a TV show every week and all of a sudden a main character dies, now I'm certainly going to be shocked. I'm going to wonder why they killed him. And I'm going to hope they come back. And now if I hear he is coming back, I'm going to speculate how he's going to come back. And I'll sit in suspense waiting for how he's going to come back. The problem with this is the title of the story is The Death of Wolverine. It's been hyped up for 4 to 6 months. They've launched a new series called The Death of Wolverine. And we all know he's going to come back because he's the lead character. He's their arguably most popular character. So to me, if I was just reading Wolverine or X-Men every month and then all of a sudden he just died one day, that would be, for me, you're right, I couldn't argue. I'd be like, you know what, this is interesting. I at least want to see where they're going to go with this. But because they've staged it as an event like this, that's why I have a big problem with it. I don't know about you.
No, that makes sense. No, you're absolutely right. And then they have the problem that I have with it as well is not only is it the Death of Wolverine miniseries, it spins off into like 6 other series that are even bigger than the Death of Wolverine miniseries, right?
What are the sales overall?
The sales are actually quite good, but it's been a bit of a slow burn. I think a lot of people were a little bit leery initially, or were just overwhelmed with most of the DC product coming out in the last month. But it really has sold well in the last month overall.
And ETA, when is Wolverine coming back?
I'm going to give it a year.
All right.
What's your over-under on that, you think?
I'd say next X-Men movie, he'll be back before that.
All right.
All right.
It's a bet.
Play some bets.